Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And as this is the first Scottish question, can I also pay tribute to Charles Kennedy? He was warm, he was witty, he was kind, and our condolences on this side of the House go out to his family, friends, his party, and of course his son, Donald. Can I ask the Secretary of State to tell the House how many more Scottish children of working-age families will fall into poverty as a result of his government's decisions on welfare?
There is no evidence that there will be a further increase in the number of children falling into poverty as a result of welfare changes in Scotland. And indeed, the evidence shows that since statistics began, there has been a relative decrease in child poverty in Scotland. But of course, as he will know, in the provisions of the Scotland Bill, there are extensive welfare provisions being devolved to the Scottish Parliament, and the Scottish Parliament will, if it believes that there is any detriment in Scotland, it will have the opportunity to top up or create new benefits.
Murray.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the Secretary of State says that there is no evidence. I find that answer contemptible. Let me give him some evidence. John Dickie, the head of the Child Poverty Action Group, has said that the government's £12 billion cuts to welfare could lead to a child poverty crisis. And the Institute for Fiscal Studies has said that those most likely to be affected are low-income working households with children. Is it not time the Secretary of State stopped ducking the question and came clean about the impact this will have on vulnerable Scottish families, given 50% of children in poverty in Scotland are from families who are in work?
Well, Mr. Speaker, the government's position is clear. It is that the best way out of poverty is into work. There is a record low number of workless households in Scotland, which I hope that he would welcome. But I would also hope that he would welcome the government's decision to devolve significant welfare powers to the Scottish Parliament, so that if there are specific issues in Scotland, decisions can be made in Scotland to deal with those issues.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given the respected Institute for Fiscal Studies has estimated that full fiscal autonomy would result in a near £10 billion black hole in Scotland's finances, and as he said, the SNP member for Edinburgh East called it a disaster, perhaps we should lock him in the gents, Secretary of State. Is it clear that this would not lead to a stronger Scotland, promote fairness or social justice? However, given the Scottish Government's reluctance to accept the impartial IFS figures, will the Secretary of State back Labour's amendment to the Scotland Bill to give a full and independent report on the implications of full fiscal autonomy?
Well, Mr. Speaker, certainly if we have any votes in this House on full fiscal autonomy, we may have to ensure that the toilets are enlarged, because I suspect all SNP members will want to lock themselves in so that they can absent themselves on any decision.